Hey there, this is Alan Brock, and now that my kids are grown up, they say I'm the cool dad everybody talks about. But if you're like me, that's probably wasn't true every day. When they were younger, there were many days I didn't have a word left for them. And it was tough on the whole family, and I know for you and your family, you might have the same problem. So I'm here with my daily dad word to give you a hand getting your brain out of work mode and into family mode. So make sure you take out your handy dandy notebook to jot down things that are top of mind in your work brain so you can free up some headspace for your family. Let's get started with today's dad word, which is archery. I'll be sharing my thoughts on archery, including a joke or two. So let's get started. One thing that's super important anytime you're talking about archery is you got to breathe. And so today I want you to make sure that you take a deep breath in through your mouth, slowly out through your nose, in through your mouth, out through your nose. And just keep doing that and do that throughout the show. That's going to clear out some bad brain chemicals. It's going to give you some focus and help you really clear up some headspace and make some room for your family time. But one of the things I do want to make sure that we always remember is we take some time to keep God's word top of mind. So this week's memory verse is Romans 3:23, which says, "For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God." Romans 3:23. And the word sin, it means to miss the mark, and it was originally an archery term, so it kind of works with our word of the day. So for all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God, Romans 3:23. Are you still breathing? Just keep doing that. And as you're hanging up the tough stuff from the day, if you need to pause for a minute to really write down some important reminders for yourself, just pause, right? Take your time getting through the show, but keep breathing. And when you're ready, hit play again. Now that you're ready for today's great word, this is from Thomas Fuller, a British scholar in the mid 1600s. He said, "A good archer is not known by his arrows, but by his aim." And you know what? Life is challenging. There are too many things to do and not enough time to get them done. And I know there are days I relied on shiny objects to keep my kids occupied so I could do my own thing. So, what about you? I mean, as we're thinking about trying to avoid missing the mark, as we're thinking about archery and shooting and this kind of thing we've talked about all week, this quote really struck with me because I can think of so many times I gave my kids a shiny object instead of me. I use that term loosely because there were toys and tablets and video games and all kinds of things that allowed them to play. And many times it was just what they needed. They needed to just go play and do their own thing. So I don't want you to misunderstand that all technology is bad and that child free play is bad. I don't believe in being a hovering parent around 100% with your kids. But I'm also saying that there's times where sometimes maybe that's the only thing you can do, right? I get it. Like I remember nights when I had two children under the age of 3, and the only way to quiet them down was to put them in a playpen and turn on the Little People on VHS to catch 20 minutes of sleep until I had to rewind it. And I know that's way back in the ancient days, but I mean it's tough, and there was little sleep and little money to go around. But if we talk about aiming small and missing small, if we talk about really engaging with our family and doing the right thing, you can't take that extraneous circumstance and let it become the thing all the time. If the only interaction with your kids is sitting them in front of the screen while you zone out on your own screen, you're missing key interactions and signs about where your kids are in life. I mean, I mentioned those long drives the other day. That's a perfect example of not kind of putting a shiny object in the way, where it's much more about making sure that your aim is true, as the quote said, as opposed to what you can provide and things like that. So if we're going to keep our kids on target, they need us more than they need stuff. And so, and maybe you're struggling with this right now. Maybe you're personally just strung out so much that seems to be the only thing. Need to talk it out? Why don't you join us on the Daily Dad Words discussion group? There's a link in the description. Are you still breathing? Anything else, sitting top of mind now that we talked about that? Maybe you need to jot a few more notes down in your notebook. But if not, then let's get to today's good word, which comes from New York, where Carl Shekel decided to make a difference. He and his dad began a website called Carl's Comics that was just there to review comics. One day, a reader recommended that he donate some comics to veterans. And so, as he thought about it and some of the challenges veterans had, he decided to donate 400 of his own after spreading the word to other collectors. They were able to get 3,500 comics to send out to disabled veterans of various issues. As the news spread, the donations to their local veterans hospital continued to come in. You can learn more about Carl Schickel's story at the link in the description. Do you know an inspiring kid with a great attitude solving big problems or helping others? Use the contact form at dailydadword.com to tell us about it so we can feature your story and help promote their cause. All right, so are you still breathing? I know my breathing exercises might not work for you. Maybe you just need a full belly laugh. So let's try these archery related jokes right now. Why couldn't the green pepper practice archery? Because it didn't habanero. How did the archer improve his aim? With better aerodynamics. Not funny? All right. It's your turn. You come up with some kind of archery, arrow related pun, funny story. And why don't you share that on the Daily Dad Word discussion so I can get funnier, all right? Why don't you help me out maybe with that one? But thanks for tuning in to the Daily Dad Word. If you're looking for some more inspiration for your family time, check us out at dailydadword.com/dailydadword. There's a link in the bio. I have a number of resources there to plant a seed for a lifetime relationship with your family, including a link to the Daily Dad Word Discussions Facebook group. If you found this focus time useful, click like and subscribe to be notified about the next day's show. Right now, I encourage you to take another 5 to 10 minutes with your handy notebook and make sure you've emptied out as many troubles and things that are going to get in the way of you engaging with your family. Clear out that headspace so you got plenty for your wife and kids. See you later.